If there was a treasure recovered by Samuel Ball, maybe it still survives him, and it's somewhere around that foundation.
Smells like treasure. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Have you ever wondered what might happen if one of the world's greatest treasure mysteries were finally solved? For more than 2 centuries, Oak Island has captivated explorers, historians, and treasure hunters from around the globe. Millions of dollars have been invested in the search, and countless excavations have been carried out. Yet despite all the effort, the island has continued to keep its secrets hidden. Now, however, everything may be about to change. A remarkable discovery by renowned metal detecting expert Gary Drayton has created a wave of excitement throughout the Oak Island community. While surveying a particular area, his detector picked up an exceptionally strong and precise signal from a location that closely matches centuries-old treasure theories, ideas that many once dismissed as little more than legends. Some specialists believe this could be the closest anyone has ever come to finding the legendary treasure, which has been estimated to be worth more than $480 million. Could this finally be the breakthrough that unlocks Oak Island's greatest mystery? Or is the island preparing to deceive yet another generation of treasure seekers with another unsolved puzzle? Before we dive into the incredible details, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates on treasure discoveries, ancient mysteries, and fascinating archaeological finds. Now let's explore the discovery that could potentially rewrite history. We've got a bolt, we've found coins, maybe this is part of some type of container. You know, the encampment theory you've mentioned aligns closely with Fred Nolan's belief that this area was used during a British military operation in 1762 following the sacking of Havana. Meanwhile, Emma Culligan carefully analyzed the newest scan data. Around her, large display screens updated in real time, revealing increasingly detailed images of what might be hidden beneath Oak Island. Then something unexpected appeared. The scans revealed a massive underground void surrounded by unusual formations resembling tunnels. It didn't look like a typical treasure chamber at all. Rick Lagina watched the monitor closely. His face reflected both excitement and concern. After years of relentless searching, it suddenly seemed possible that they were not simply hunting for buried treasure. Instead, they might have uncovered evidence of a vast, man-made underground network unlike anything previously discovered on the island. Breaking the silence, one engineer quietly remarked, "If these readings are accurate, this could be the most important discovery ever made on Oak Island." Outside, powerful pumps continued removing water from the excavation site. Heavy machinery roared as operations resumed at full speed. Every minute of work cost thousands of dollars, but shutting down was no longer an option. The possibility of uncovering something extraordinary had become impossible to ignore. Later that evening, the atmosphere inside the team's war room became increasingly tense. Large monitors displayed live underground imaging data when, without warning, one of the screens suddenly flashed bright red. Emma immediately stood up and focused on the incoming information. At first, the engineering team suspected a technical malfunction. However, after thoroughly checking the equipment, they confirmed that everything was functioning perfectly. The anomaly wasn't in the machinery. It was deep underground. Nearly 170 feet below the surface, sensors detected a metallic signature that was approximately 68% stronger than anything found in the surrounding soil. Even more surprising, the signal wasn't spread randomly throughout the area. Instead, it was concentrated in a specific location, suggesting the presence of a large, structured metallic object buried beneath the ground. Emma ordered another scan, then another and another. Each result was identical. As the same readings continued appearing on the monitors, the room fell completely silent. Everyone realized they might be witnessing one of the most significant discoveries in Oak Island's history. Updated mapping data revealed what appeared to be an underground chamber measuring approximately 22 feet across and about 14 feet high. Around the cavity were several remarkably straight formations that seemed far too organized to be natural geological features. One engineer quietly noted, "Natural placer gold doesn't create patterns like these." That observation only deepened the mystery. Emma began comparing decades of seismic records with soil resistance data and newly generated 3D models. Moments later, another fascinating pattern emerged. The soil surrounding the structure showed resistance levels nearly 40% lower than expected. This suggested the possible existence of hollow corridors or tunnel systems extending beneath the site. In several areas, the concentration of metallic material appeared so strong that the scanners struggled to determine its true depth. Rick Lagina remained silent as he studied the display. The excitement was obvious, but so was the uncertainty. For the first time in years, it seemed increasingly likely that Oak Island was hiding something far greater than a cache of treasure. It might be concealing an extensive underground structure, a forgotten chapter of history, or a secret that has remained buried for centuries. And if the evidence proves accurate, the team may be closer than ever to uncovering the truth behind one of the world's most enduring mysteries. It could be concealing a deliberately engineered underground complex that has remained hidden for centuries. The moment had finally arrived for the first camera deployment. Inside the war room, anticipation filled the air. Every member of the team stared at the giant monitor displaying the live feed from a camera being lowered into the mysterious underground cavity. After days of relentless drilling, unstable shafts, and high-risk excavation efforts, they were about to get their first glimpse inside the hidden void. Outside, powerful Atlantic winds swept across Oak Island as massive pumps continued working around the clock to remove water from the excavation site. Nearly 180 feet beneath the surface lay the source of endless speculation and sleepless nights. Slowly, the camera descended through the narrow borehole. At first, the footage revealed little more than muddy rock walls coated with moisture. The signal repeatedly faded in and out, forcing engineers to make constant adjustments to maintain the connection. Then, something extraordinary happened. As the camera moved deeper into the cavity, a bright metallic reflection suddenly flashed across the screen. The room fell silent. Although only a few seconds of clear footage were captured, those brief images immediately changed the direction of the investigation. Several reflective points appeared within the chamber, but one stood out more than the others. It looked smooth, flat, and metallic, completely different from anything typically found in a natural underground cave. Whatever the camera had recorded appeared intentional. For the first time, the team began to consider the possibility that they were no longer chasing an old legend. Instead, they might be standing on the verge of uncovering a hidden structure that had remained buried and undiscovered for generations. Emma Culligan immediately began reviewing the footage. She watched it repeatedly at normal speed, slowed it down frame by frame, and carefully examined every detail. The result was always the same. The mysterious metallic reflection appeared in exactly the same location each time. One engineer quietly pointed out that natural mineral formations rarely produce reflections with those characteristics. That observation instantly changed the mood inside the room. Rick Lagina stood beside the monitor, his expression revealing a mix of excitement and unease. If an artificial chamber truly existed beneath Oak Island, the mystery could become far more significant than a story about buried treasure. It could represent one of the most remarkable underground discoveries ever made. What made the situation even more intriguing was that the camera had only captured a small section of the cavity. Most of what existed below remained hidden in complete darkness. Throughout the night, Emma continued analyzing the latest underground data, while updated 3D models appeared on the large screens throughout the war room. With each new scan, the mystery seemed to deepen. Initially, the team believed they had discovered a single underground chamber. However, as more mapping data became available, that theory quickly changed. The latest models suggested the existence of at least 5 interconnected tunnel systems extending in multiple directions. Some tunnels appeared to connect directly to the main cavity, while others seemed to descend toward even deeper levels underground. The layout appeared surprisingly organized, giving the impression of careful design rather than a naturally formed geological structure. Engineers revisited the soil resistance reports and found another unusual detail. The ground surrounding the tunnels showed resistance levels nearly 40% lower than nearby areas, a pattern often associated with hollow underground spaces. In several locations, the scans even indicated the possibility of multiple chambers stacked beneath one another, suggesting a much larger hidden network than previously imagined. One geologist noted that natural cave systems rarely display such symmetry and order, making the discovery increasingly difficult to explain through natural processes alone. Rick continued studying the updated 3D model in silence. Displayed across the monitors was an underground layout that looked more like an ancient engineering project than a naturally occurring formation. Evidence of possible flood tunnel systems also became increasingly apparent. Some experts began to suspect these features may have been intentionally designed to restrict access to the central chamber and protect whatever lay inside. As Emma examined the deepest layers of the scan data, another striking detail emerged. Several tunnel walls appeared almost perfectly straight. The room immediately grew quiet. Everyone understood the significance of what they were seeing. For the first time, many team members seriously considered the possibility that Oak Island was hiding not only treasure, but an advanced underground system carefully engineered centuries ago with remarkable precision. Meanwhile, tension inside the war room continued to build. Pressure readings from deep underground fluctuated constantly across the monitors. Engineers repeatedly warned that if the chamber became unstable and collapsed, the excavation shaft could rapidly flood within seconds. Rick carefully watched the latest projections. The excitement that had once driven the search was now mixed with growing concern. The mission had evolved into something much larger than a hunt for treasure. They were now investigating a mystery that could potentially rewrite the history of Oak Island forever. The mission had reached a critical point. The safety of everyone involved was now becoming a serious concern. New underground scans revealed an unstable zone nearly 12 feet wide surrounding the main chamber. At the same time, the soil supporting the excavation continued to weaken while pressure from seawater trapped within deeper tunnel systems steadily increased. Engineers warned that if the structure failed, nearly 300,000 gallons of water could surge into the excavation site within just a few minutes. As a precaution, emergency evacuation plans were immediately put in place. Massive pumps continued operating around the clock in an effort to control water levels. Despite these efforts, underground pressure remained unpredictable. While reviewing the latest stability reports, Emma Culligan noticed another updated scan appear on the main display. As the new images came into focus, the room once again fell silent. The latest data revealed additional hollow spaces beneath the primary chamber, suggesting that the underground system was far more extensive than previously believed. Instead of a single isolated structure, the scans indicated a network of interconnected chambers and passageways hidden deep below the island. One engineer quietly pointed out a troubling possibility. If the suspected flood tunnels became active, accessing or recovering anything from the underground chambers could become impossible. Rick Lagina studied the images for several moments before finally speaking. After years of searching, he said, they might finally be standing face to face with Oak Island's greatest secret. But a single mistake could cause that opportunity to disappear forever. As specialists continued their analysis, the atmosphere inside the war room began to feel less like an excavation project and more like preparations for a major historical announcement. Large screens displayed detailed maps and underground models, while historians, geologists, engineers, and treasure experts compared every piece of evidence collected over the previous days. Metallic readings, borehole footage, density measurements, and geological surveys were carefully examined side by side. Then came a result that stunned everyone in the room. When all available data was combined into a comprehensive valuation model, the estimated figure displayed on the screen approached an astonishing $480 million. Several engineers initially assumed the calculation had to be wrong, yet repeated reviews of the data produced nearly identical results each time. The scans suggested that the island might contain far more than scattered traces of precious metals. Instead, they pointed toward highly concentrated metallic zones buried deep underground. In certain areas, the readings were so intense that some experts began considering an even more extraordinary possibility: that valuable historical artifacts could be hidden alongside whatever treasure might still remain below. Emma enlarged the latest three-dimensional underground model for closer examination. The display revealed several connected chambers surrounding a larger central cavity. Rather than appearing as separate spaces, the structures resembled a carefully organized underground vault system concealed beneath Oak Island. One historian quietly observed that if these chambers had remained intact for centuries, the discovery could extend far beyond the legend of buried pirate treasure. It could become one of the most significant underground discoveries ever made in North America. Rick remained focused on the screen, saying very little. After years of failed excavations, flooded shafts, and millions of dollars spent pursuing clues, it finally seemed possible that Oak Island was preparing to reveal the secret that had remained hidden for generations. Yet, with every new discovery came greater uncertainty. The mystery was no longer simply about treasure. It was becoming something much larger. As additional scans of the underground network continued to emerge, the investigation began moving in a completely unexpected direction. What many had long dismissed as a simple pirate treasure story was now attracting serious attention from historians studying the growing body of evidence. Inside the war room, massive displays compared centuries-old maps, historical records, ancient symbols, and newly gathered survey data. During one research session, a historian introduced references from documents nearly 3 centuries old. These records described a carefully engineered hidden vault believed to exist somewhere along the Atlantic coast. The room immediately grew quiet as the significance of those records sank in. Some researchers began suggesting that Oak Island may have been connected to a secret organization rather than ordinary treasure hunters. Attention soon turned to long-standing theories involving the Knights Templar. Several historical accounts from Europe describe hidden transportation networks used to move valuable objects in complete secrecy. When experts compared those descriptions with the newly mapped tunnel systems beneath Oak Island, they noticed several intriguing similarities. Certain structural features appeared surprisingly consistent with defensive engineering techniques used during the medieval period. Emma then displayed another updated 3D model. The screen highlighted an extensive network of connected chambers, straight tunnel sections, possible flood control passages, and concealed access routes. Even experienced engineers struggled to explain how such an organized layout could have formed naturally. One historian quietly summarized what many in the room were beginning to believe. If this underground system was truly constructed centuries ago, then its builders possessed knowledge, planning, and engineering abilities far beyond what would normally be expected from ordinary treasure seekers. And if that theory proved correct, the mystery of Oak Island might represent far more than a hidden treasure. It could be the remains of an extraordinary project whose true purpose has remained unknown for hundreds of years. Rick listened carefully as the discussion unfolded around him. It had become increasingly clear that the search was no longer just about finding gold or precious metals. If hidden artifacts, ancient documents, or lost historical records truly existed beneath Oak Island, the discovery could challenge accepted historical narratives and rank among the most significant archaeological breakthroughs ever made. At the same time, Oak Island itself had undergone a dramatic transformation. What was once a quiet and isolated location now resembled a large-scale industrial operation. Powerful floodlights illuminated the island throughout the night, allowing work to continue around the clock. Heavy machinery relentlessly dug through layers of earth, while drilling equipment pushed deeper underground in pursuit of answers. Massive pumps operated non-stop, continuously removing water from underground tunnels and chambers. Every part of the operation remained active because the team believed they were closer than ever to uncovering something extraordinary. However, sustaining such a large and complex excavation came with an enormous financial burden. Daily operating costs had risen to nearly $250,000, with millions already invested in drilling systems, pumping equipment, and ongoing exploration efforts. More than 40 crew members worked in rotating shifts day and night. Some monitored underground pressure levels, others analyzed newly collected scan data, while specialized drilling teams focused on reaching deeper sections of the underground network. As Rick Lagina slowly walked through the busy excavation site, he observed the constant activity surrounding him. Years of setbacks, flooded shafts, and difficult excavations were evident in his expression. Yet, despite the challenges, there was no sign of giving up. If anything, every new discovery seemed to make the mystery even more complex. Rather than providing answers, each scan raised new questions, suggesting that whatever lay hidden beneath Oak Island could be far greater than anyone had ever imagined. Meanwhile, Emma Culligan presented the latest underground mapping results. The updated models highlighted several deep anomaly zones that appeared even stronger and more unusual than anything previously detected. The findings immediately captured the attention of everyone in the room. One operations engineer issued a serious warning. If underground water pressure suddenly increased, the excavation shaft could become unstable and might have to be shut down with little notice. The risk was real, yet no one proposed ending the operation. By this point, the mission had evolved far beyond a simple treasure hunt. Many team members had become convinced that a sophisticated underground system existed beneath Oak Island, one that may have remained hidden from the world for centuries. With every passing hour, the costs continued to rise. The pressure intensified, and the dangers associated with the excavation grew more serious. Still, the search continued. Later that evening, a mixture of excitement and nervous anticipation filled the war room. The team believed they might finally have located the island's primary hidden chamber. Before reaching any conclusions, however, Emma decided to process an additional layer of deep seismic data. Moments later, the updated scan appeared on the giant monitors. The room instantly fell silent. The results revealed something completely unexpected. Nearly 220 feet below the previously identified cavity, the system detected another massive underground anomaly. What made the discovery even more remarkable was the strength of the signal. The newly detected metallic signature was significantly stronger than any reading recorded during the entire investigation. According to the engineering team, it represented the most powerful underground metallic signal ever identified on Oak Island. The implications were impossible to ignore. Could this newly discovered anomaly be connected to the legendary treasure that has fueled centuries of speculation? Or might it point to something even more extraordinary hidden beneath the island? As news of the findings spread, curiosity and excitement grew among people around the world. For many, it seemed possible that Oak Island's greatest mystery was finally approaching a turning point. Yet, despite the growing evidence, many questions remained unanswered. What exactly lies beneath the island? How extensive is the underground network? And could the final discovery be even more astonishing than anyone expects? Only time will reveal the truth hidden beneath Oak Island's surface. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, be sure to like the video, subscribe to Golden X, and turn on notifications so you never miss future updates, discoveries, and investigations into the secrets of Oak Island.